Now, today's topic is on the Dhamma, okay? The refuge, our second refuge we observe, that is a precious refuge of the Dhamma, okay? So the gift of the Dhamma, according to the Buddha, is the highest gift. Now in the verse, Dhammapada, verse 1352, okay? The Buddha talks about the Dhamma. He says, among the gifts, which is the best gift? Okay, the best gift is the Dhamma, of course. Now, this Dhammapada verse, let me move the slides. Is the slide moving? Okay.
Yes.
Dhammapada verse 354, it says that the gift of the Dhamma excels all other gifts. The taste of the Dhamma excels all tastes. The delight of the Dhamma excels all delights. The eradication of craving, attainment of arahantship, overcomes all ills. That is samsara dukkha. Now, these words of the Buddha came about because at that time, there was this question raised by the Devas in the Tawatimsa heaven. The Devas were discussing, among all gifts, which is the best gift? Among all tastes, which is the best? And among all delight, which is the best? So they were having a discussion on this, and they couldn't find an answer to these questions. So Sakka and his group of Devas decided to come down to earth to see the Buddha and ask these questions. And it's because of that the Buddha says this Dhammapada verse. Okay, the gift of the Dhamma excels all gift. The taste of the Dhamma excels all taste, and the delight of the Dhamma excels all delight. Eradication of craving overcomes all ills. So you find that this even the Devas, okay, they come to the Buddha and seek advice. So the Sakka further asks the Buddha, he says, since the gift of the Dhamma is so precious, is so important, okay, how come the lay people or the monks, did not share their merits, when they listen to the Dhamma? Okay, so from that date onwards, okay, the Buddha asked all his followers, whenever they listen to the Dhamma, okay, share the Dhamma, you also transfer merits, okay, to the Devas. That's why you have this verse where you chanted just now, Akasatta Chabumata Devanaga Mahidika Punyantam Anumoditva Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasana. So you also share these merits or this whatever merits of listening to the Dhamma or doing any meritorious deeds with the Devas. That's how this sharing of merits came about. Okay, why do we take refuge in the Dhamma? Okay, and why is it so important for us to have the Dhamma with us? Now, in the Dhammapada verse 182, the Buddha talks about the existence of human life. Okay? To be born as a human is very rare. And as a human, it's not easy to live as a mortal, okay? Because you are subject to old age, sickness, and death, and impermanence. Heart is the hearing of the sublime truth, the Dhamma. Because not everybody has the chance to listen to the Dhamma. Some have to travel far. Some in certain countries, in certain states, you don't even have the teachings. And rare is the appearance of the Buddha. Because without the Buddha, you don't have the Dhamma. The teachings are there, but then there is nobody to discover it. So we are very fortunate. Okay, we can listen to the Dhamma. We can, those days before the COVID-19, we can go to our Buddhist center and listen to the Dhamma. But even after the COVID-19 happened, okay, where centers are closed, nowadays we can still listen to the Dhamma online. Now, what is this Dhamma that the Buddha gave us? Okay. Now, in simple terms, what the Buddha teach, okay, is classified as Dhamma. Okay. But Dhamma is not only confined to what the Buddha teach. It also means truth or reality, or what we call universal laws prevailing in the universe. It is something that supports our life. That's why it's important for us to know the Dhamma, because if you know the Dhamma, you know the existence of this life, how it comes about, okay? Why you were born. When you're born, you're subject to certain conditions like old age, sickness, and death, where you have to encounter and you have to live with it, okay? And if you do not know how to live with it, then there'll be a lot of unsatisfactoriness or suffering. So what is this Dhamma? Okay. Now the Dhamma actually existed, okay, even without the Buddha, because they are natural laws. Okay? Natural law that exists in this universe. So it takes a Buddha who comes in a long period of time, after a long period of time, okay, to discover the Dhamma. Okay, just like gravity. Before Isaac Newton discovered gravity, people do not know about gravity. But when you throw an object from a high place, it will fall to the ground. So nobody know exactly how it works until Isaac Newton discovered gravity. So it's a Dhamma. Okay? The Dhamma is there, but you need a Buddha to discover it, to discover the natural law of cause and effect. Okay? And this happened 2,600 years ago, where Prince Siddhartha, okay, our Bodhisattva, practice meditation, okay, practice moral precept, practice the perfections, okay, to the highest level, and he became enlightened. Okay, after he has gone, renounced and worldly life, and gone to the forest and practice meditation. And through his meditation, he was able to see the cause of dependent origination. And he taught the Four Noble Truths about old age, sickness, and death, okay, about how suffering arises through craving, how we can abandon craving and attain nibbana or liberation. And also he also showed us the path that leads to the end of suffering. Now, even though the Dhamma was discovered 2,600 years ago, today we still have the Dhamma with us, okay, following the dispensation of Gautama Buddha, okay, because the lineage of the Sangha that he has established is still available until this present day. So the monks that you meet, okay, they have the lineage from the Buddha. Okay. So if you ask a monk who is his preceptor or his teacher, okay, then his teacher will name the other teacher until it's traced back to the Buddha. Okay. So the Dhamma survives for so long is because of various events that happened. Now, 3 months after the Buddha passed away, as you all know, different people, they interpret the Dhamma differently. Okay? So there were different views about the Dhamma. So Venerable Mahakassapa called in 500 Arahants, okay, into a council, okay, 3 months after the Buddha passed away. And from there, they did recited what the Buddha taught, the suttas that the Buddha taught, and they recollect it and compile it. So the Buddha gave a lot of teachings throughout his 45 years of dispensation. And the Arahant's disciples, okay, are the ones who remember the teaching orally, okay, and pass it down to the next generation. So again, after 100 years, the second council was called. Third council was called in the year 236 years after the Buddha passed away. And the third council was under the patronage of King Asoka. Okay? King Asoka was a good emperor. Okay, he in fact promoted Buddhism in India. Not only in India, he even sent missionaries to Sri Lanka to teach the Dhamma. Okay, and also later, in the later years, Buddhism spread to Thailand, Burma, okay, Southeast Asia, also Northern Asia like China, Japan, Korea. Now the teachings are available not only in Asia, but even in the West. Okay, the Buddha Dhamma is becoming more and more popular. So initially the teachings were passed down by oral tradition, and it's only in 80 BC that it was put in writing. And today, with advance in the technology, okay, you can actually access to the teachings of the Buddha online through the internet. Okay. So when we take refuge in the Dhamma, okay, the Dhamma gives us what? Protection, actually. It's also food for the mind. Just like we need food for our physical body, we need food for our mind. Okay, the Dhamma talks about Dana, Sila, and Bhavana. Okay. Dana, Sila, Samadhi, and also wisdom. Okay. So the Dhamma itself, okay, will give us a steady refuge. So when we take refuge in the Buddha, we know we are taking refuge in something that is good, okay? Something that the Buddha brought down and give us peace and happiness, not only in the short term, but also in the long term. So what is the essence of the Dhamma? Okay. The essence of the Dhamma is to do good, to avoid evil, and to purify the mind. Okay. The precepts, okay, encourage us to avoid evil, not to kill, not to steal, not to commit sexual misconduct, not to tell lies, and not to take intoxicants. Okay. So this is to reduce our mental defilements of greed, hatred, and delusion. Okay. Now, doing good is performing meritorious deeds like dana, okay, performing charity, sila, keeping the precepts, and bhavana, training the mind. So the training of the mind is actually to purify our mind of greed, hatred, and delusion. So the essence of the teaching, okay, is to reduce our defilements of greed, hatred, and delusion. Now, the spirit of the Dhamma is to do good, develop the enlightened mind, and the wish to do good for others and to have compassion to all beings. So we need to develop what we call a compassionate mind. Now, today we have the Dhamma is because of the Buddha's compassion. Okay? The Buddha gave up his kingdom, he renounced his worldly life and go to the forest to practice because he wanted to find the cause to suffering of old age, sickness, and death. Okay? Because beings are born in samsara through many years of existence, okay? And they continue to go through the suffering of old age, sickness, and death. So the Buddha wanted to find a solution, okay, an end to this suffering. And through his compassion, okay, he struggled for 6 long years before he became enlightened. And finally, he found the answer to this existence. And this existence in samsara, or the cycle of birth and death, okay, is because of negative thoughts. Okay? The negative thoughts that we create in our life since birth or since our previous lives, it carry on into the present birth. and we can continue to have these defilements in our mind. So enlightened mind has great love and compassion, which is the opposite of negative thoughts. Okay? So if we are able to develop our mind, okay, and have great love and compassion of loving kindness, then we are able to overcome these defilements. The next thing about the Dhamma is based upon and proceed towards enlightenment. Now, what the Buddha preached, okay, comes from the experience and not from theory. Okay, whatever he teach, okay, it is what he experienced. Okay? He experienced old age, sickness, and death. The Buddha is just like us. Okay, and what he has gone through, okay, he gave us his experience and tell us what causes suffering and what causes happiness. And the practice itself of the Dhamma gives us protection or the refuge. Because if you keep your mind pure, okay, through the practice of the Dhamma, okay, you find that you will have less defilements, and when you have less defilements, you have less craving, less attachment, less grasping. And when there's less attachment, there will be less unsatisfactoriness or suffering. And refuge in the real refuge is to put into practice and realize the Dhamma. They are refuge to be sought within and not in exterior manifestation. So when we chant Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, okay, that is just a form, okay, a physical form. Okay? But the real refuge is when we put into practice, okay, and realize the teachings by ourselves. So the whole teaching of the Buddha is one mass of flexible methods appropriate generally for different time, places, and most important for different temperament of person. So different people have different temperament, okay? And for different people, the Buddha gave different sermon to suit their temperament. Okay? So for us, we also have different temperament, and certain methods, okay, are appropriate for us. Why is the Dhamma such precious gift? Okay, because everyone needs this Dhamma. It is just like a raft, you know. You need a raft to cross the ocean. So in order for us to overcome old age, sickness, and death, we need to know the Dhamma, okay, to have the right view of the Dhamma, to have the wisdom, okay, to see things as they really are. Okay. So we have to study the Dhamma. We have to practice the Dhamma and realize the Dhamma. And the first thing that we need to do is, of course, we ourselves must be trained in the Dhamma, okay, in order to share the Dhamma with other people. And one of the important people that we need to share the Dhamma are our parents, okay? Because our parents, you know, they bring us up, okay, from young until we're adult, and give us food to sustain the body, give us education, okay, give us shelter when we need it. So as a form of gratitude, the first people we should actually extend the sharing of the Dhamma are our parents. Okay? The Buddha said that even if you carry your parents on both shoulders for many hundred years, you know, you will not be able to help them and to repay this gratitude that they have given us. So the best gift that we can give to our parents is the Dhamma, because the Dhamma will help them, okay, to overcome, okay, suffering and be happy, okay. So of course, parents is one thing. We also need to educate our children, okay, in the Dhamma. Okay, that's why Dhamma school becomes very important. Parents usually, you know, they would like their children to come to the Dhamma school so that they can learn good values, okay, good moral values. Even if they can learn the 5 precepts, okay, it will be very useful to them. when you grow up, especially because all of us are conditioned beings, okay? And if they're trained from young, okay, to observe moral precepts, when they grow up and they continue to practice moral precepts, okay, you find that they have more compassion, okay, they have more loving kindness towards other beings, okay, they respect the law, okay, of not stealing, okay. They also expect the institution of marriage, okay, of not committing sexual misconduct. They become more truthful in practicing the precept of non-lying, and also they abstain from intoxicants, okay. So these moral values itself is very important for them to lead a blameless life, a more harmonious life in society. So first, we must know the Dhamma first. We share the Dhamma with our parents. We also share the Dhamma with our children, okay. Besides that, we can also share with relatives, okay. We can also share Dhamma with our spiritual friends, okay. Friends who walk the path together, friends who take the refuge in the Dhamma, Buddha Dhamma and Sangha. Okay, these are our spiritual friends. Okay, we can help each other in our practice. We can inform each other to make merits. Okay, like for example, if there's a dana on at our center or any other place, we can encourage our friends to attend. We can also encourage our friends to listen to Dhamma talks online. We can also invite our friends to attend our retreat, meditation retreat, okay, to meet up with good and well-practiced monk, so that they can also practice the Dhamma together. Okay. So this gift is very important and very precious, because it is like when they learn the Dhamma, they know how to practice on their own, okay, be able to be independent, okay, because the Dhamma has the quality of helping people to have a mind that is peaceful. Okay. Now, this morning you just chanted the qualities of the Dhamma, okay, the 6 qualities of the Dhamma, that is Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Saditiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Opanaiko Pachatang Veditabo Vinuhiti. So these 6 qualities of the Dhamma that the Buddha has expounded, okay, are as follows. The Dhamma, Swakato, means the Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One. Okay. It is apparent here and now. Okay. Sanditiko. Akaliko is timeless. Encouraging investigation is Ehipasiko. Leading inwards is Opanaiko. To be experienced individually by the wise is Pachatang Veditabo Vinuhiti. Okay. So this is a translation of the 6 qualities. Okay. And now let us take a look at what are these 6 qualities. Now the teachings of the Buddha, okay, is well taught by the Blessed One. Okay. It is not a speculative philosophy, but the universal law discovered by the Buddha when he became enlightened. Okay, this is excellent in the beginning, excellent in the middle, and excellent in the end. Okay. Because it has a threefold training of moral precepts, okay, of mental culture, and the arising of wisdom. Now, during the Buddha's time, even now, there were 4 types of people. One is the bhikkhus, or the monk. Then you have the nuns, the bhikkhunis. Then you have the lay male disciples, or upasaka, and also the female lay disciples, upasika. Okay. So the Buddha teach to these 4 types of people, okay? And on different occasions, he gave different suttas. But again, none of these suttas contradict each other. if you go through the Tipitaka, you find that certain teachings were given to certain types of people, okay, depending on their temperament. And the people who actually listened to the Buddha was able to understand, because the Buddha knows their temperament and their mentality. Okay. So he tailored his teachings according to his audience. So if he speaks to a monk, it will be slightly different. Okay, he's more towards non-attachment or this. But when he speaks to householder, lay people, then he even speaks about, how you should spend your income, how you should apportion your income, okay, how you should treat your family, your duties towards your family, your employer, your employee, okay, your children and your wife or your spouse. Okay. So to different people, he teach differently. So it's all well thought, okay, and the people who received his Dhamma, okay, are able to benefit greatly from his teaching. It is excellent both in the beginning, that means not even short term, but also long term. Not only immediate, okay, you can experience the Dhamma, the happiness immediately, also in the near future, or even in the next life, okay, because the results, okay, of practicing merits is far-fetched. The second quality is sanditiko, okay, apparent here and now. The Dharma taught by the Buddha is experienced here and now. This means that, for example, when anger arises, okay, you can actually experience anger here and now. Okay, but your anger may stay for a while, okay, but eventually it will cease. A person cannot be angry for 24 hours. Okay, you try. Next time when you're angry, you see whether you can be angry for 24 hours. You just put a clock in front of you, okay, and see how long your anger lasts. Okay. Now, anger arises because of causes and condition. Okay, somebody may have said something that is hurtful, or somebody blame you for things that you don't do. Okay, so it gives rise to anger. Okay, so when anger arises, okay, you can experience anger actually. So is happiness. Okay, when happiness arises or joy arises, you can experience it here and now. So any experiences, sense perception that you have is all experienced here and now. Okay? It's not experienced in the past or the future, but here and now. So this is the essence or the quality of the Dhamma. Timeless. The Dhamma is not bounded by any time. That's why it's called timeless. It cannot grow old with age, as it depicts the truth underlying all phenomenal existence that we experience. Thus, it can withstand the challenges of modern science. It is beyond time and space. Okay? So because the truth is timeless, because it cannot change. Okay, whether you believe it or not, the truth is there. Okay, just like the law of gravity. Okay, if you don't believe in gravity, you just jump down from a 10-story building, see whether there's gravity or not. So whether you believe or not, gravity is there because it's a universal law. Okay, it exists. Just like the 4 seasons of spring, summer, autumn, winter. Okay, they are natural laws. Okay, because of the position of the planet and with respect to the sun. Okay, and the rotation of the earth. Okay, you have this different season. Okay, so whether you like it or not, the season changes. So the truth is always there. It's timeless. Okay, and time is actually relative. What you experience in a year, okay, we actually have 365 days in a year. Actually, you can also have 30 days in a year. Okay, it is just a standard that we have adopted. We adopted 365 days. So it can be 36 days in a year. Okay. So by the time I say 2021, if let's say 36 days is a year, you'll be another 10 years old instead of 1 year older. Okay. So it's relative. Okay. So we fix a time of 365 days, but again, it can be 30 days a year, you know. So time is actually a relative thing. Okay. And the next one is come and see, or pasiko. The teaching encourages to come and see so that we can test it to determine its truth and relevance. Dhamma is not a set of dogmas for us to believe, but to verify each for ourselves. We can personally realize the teachings taught by the Buddha through studying and practicing it. Now, this is very important quality where when we listen to the Dhamma, okay, you are not compelled to believe it immediately. Okay, if you do not, then it's fine, you know, until maybe you want to try it, to practice it, okay, so that you know whether it's beneficial for yourself and also for others. For example, meditation. Okay, some people believe that, you know, if you do meditation, okay, you have peace of mind. Okay, so you start doing meditation. Okay, but when you start sitting down and meditate, you find that, oh, your mind is like a monkey mind. You know, you think of this, your thought keep arising. You think of the past, you think of the future, and then what is this peace of mind? Okay, you don't see any peace of mind. So when somebody tell you, oh, you meditate, you can get peace of mind. Okay? So is it true? Okay. So what you do is, never mind. Let's see. Okay, try to meditate and see. See whether what the other person tells you is true or not. Okay? So you can test it. If you don't get peace of mind, then you maybe ask for further advice. Okay, why is my mind like a monkey mind? Okay, so slowly, gradually, you know, as you practice more, then you may find that you can get peace of mind. Now, even during the Buddha's time, remember Venerable Sariputta, once Venerable Sariputta heard a sermon from the Buddha, and after the sermon, the Buddha asked Venerable Sariputta, do you believe in what I say? And Sariputta said, no. Bante, or the Buddha, we called it the Buddha Bante, you know, I do not believe what you say. Oh. So to a third party, you know, if you observe this kind of behavior by Venerable Sariputta, you would think it's quite disrespectful for Sariputta to say like that. So the Buddha asked Sariputta, why do you say so? So Venerable Sariputta replied and said that I have to practice first, okay, and see whether it is true before I believe you. Now, Sariputta is, as you know, he's the disciple that excels in wisdom, okay, and he says that because, you know, he feels that, you know, he has to verify it before he can believe and accept it totally. Okay, that's why he told the Buddha that he does not believe the Buddha initially. Okay? So just like you test gold using fire, okay, when somebody give you a piece of metal, you know, which looks like gold, okay, if you want to know it's gold, then you burn it. You use fire to burn it, okay. And gold has certain properties. It melts at certain temperature, okay. If it melts before the temperature, okay, then you know it's not gold. Okay. So the teaching is for us to verify, okay, to practice before even accepting it. Opanaiko, Okay, the Dhamma is capable of being entered upon and therefore leading inwards and be internalized in one's life. The Dhamma leads its adherents from one stage to another until they find themselves fully liberated from all forms of suffering. That is the four traditional stages of enlightenment. So Opanayiko means it leads inwards. That means it must touch your heart. Okay, when you listen to the Dhamma, it must be something that you can feel for it and it touches your heart. Then only then is effective. Some people, they know the Dhamma very well, academically, like the professors, if you take a degree in Buddhist studies and they have a PhD in Buddhism, yes, you know the Dhamma, but you don't know the Dhamma inwardly. Okay? You can explain the suttas very well, but when it comes to internalizing the Dhamma, it's not there. So one must be a practitioner, okay, to understand the Dhamma. So that's why we say the Dhamma leads inwards. Just like when you do meditation, it also leads inwards. Right? Our five senses always lead us outwards. Right? Remember your eyesight. Okay, your eyes will look for external objects, beautiful objects. You like to visit nice, beautiful place. Okay, that's why you have this tourist attraction. To attract people. People go there to see beautiful things. You want to watch nice movies. Okay, you want to listen to beautiful music. Okay, so all this leads inwards. You like good food, good taste. Okay, so all this leads us outwards. Okay, and all this give rise to more and more attachment. Okay, you will see a beautiful things you want, so there is a rising of attachment. Now, if you look inside, inside at your mind, okay, you find that there are a lot of things, okay, inside that you can understand. Okay, understand your intention, okay, the cause of your, say, for example, your goodness or your greediness. Why people are more greedy, why people have more anger. So you have to look inside yourself to see all these things. Okay, because mind is a forerunner, and the mind, to understand the mind, you have to look at your mind and understand how your mind works. Okay. So leading inwards is what the Dhamma will do if we understand the Dhamma well. And the last quality is actually pacatang, okay, veditavo vinuhiti. The Dhamma is to be experienced individually by the wise. No one can absorb the Dhamma on behalf of another person, just as no one can quench the thirst of another person without him taking a drink. But the Dhamma points us the way to our self-realization of the truth of existence. Yeah. Now you need a certain level of wisdom to be able to appreciate the Dhamma. Right? That's why not many people, okay, they come to listen to Dhamma talk, and sometimes when they listen, it doesn't go into their head. Okay, so you need a certain level of wisdom to be able to understand. Initially, when the Buddha became enlightened, okay, he decided not to teach the Dhamma because he feels that the Dhamma is very profound. Okay, it's going against the stream. Okay, it's like you ask people to let go, to let go of their craving. Then some people may think, oh, then there's no meaning in living. Okay, you have to let go of this, let go of that. And because of that, the Buddha said, oh, I don't want to waste my time, talking to people, and people do not listen. So, but this Brahma Sahampati, okay, a deva, knew what the Buddha was thinking, and decided, to request the Buddha to teach the Dhamma. And after the request, the Buddha surveyed the world. Okay, he used his psychic power, surveyed the world, okay? And he could find that there are certain people who are well trained or well developed mentally, and they are able to understand the Dhamma. Okay? So that's why today, okay, the Buddha, because finally the Buddha decided, okay, he will teach the Dhamma to those who are ready, okay, to practice the Dhamma. Okay. So we have to thank Brahma Sahampati, okay, the Deva, who requested the Buddha to teach the Dhamma. Because if he did not teach the Dhamma, even those people who are ready to receive the Dhamma will perish or be born in the lower realm. So that's why it's traditionally, okay, sometimes when we request monks, to offer the Dhamma teachings, okay, we do a request, okay, the chant of Brahma Sahampati, okay. And the monks only give Dhamma talks when invited, okay. They don't go around and, to the street or to public areas, and say, oh, you come here, I want to teach you the Dhamma. No, the monks don't do that, okay? Because not everybody is ready, as I said earlier, okay? Even you talk to him, for hours, he may not be interested, okay? So the Dhamma is usually, is given only to those who are ready to receive, okay? Ready to receive. And it needs a certain level of wisdom to be able to receive, because you appreciate the Dhamma, the precious, the Dhamma is precious, okay? Even though the Dhamma now is given free of charge, you can go to YouTube, you can go to any center, you don't have to pay entrance fee, to listen to the Dhamma talk, okay? But I wouldn't say it's free lah, it is free, it is what I call it, it's priceless. It's free because it's priceless, okay? You cannot put a tag to it, okay? So when it's priceless, you don't charge, you don't give a value to it, a fixed value to it. So the Dhamma is very, very precious, okay? And if one can practice the Dhamma, okay, and receive the benefit of it, okay, then you develop the wisdom. And for example, in meditation, you cannot employ another person to meditate for you, okay? If you want somebody to take you from one place to another, you can employ a driver, okay? He can do the job, okay? But you cannot say, oh, because you are rich, but I still want to benefit from the Dhamma, okay? So you cannot say, oh, I pay my friend, okay, to meditate on my behalf. Okay? So there's no such thing, okay? You have to experience it yourself. You have to learn it yourself. So that's how we developed wisdom. So in order to develop wisdom, we have to go through this three process, okay? First, we study the Dhamma, okay? Study the Dhamma, we call it the Sutta Manya Panya, okay? Wisdom derived through hearing or receiving information, okay? Like now what we are doing, we are listening to the Dhamma, okay? And receive the teachings that is taught by the Buddha. So after listening, and we find that it's useful to us, we develop certain level of wisdom. The next level is Cinta Maya Panya, wisdom derived from thinking or investigating. Okay? Like I said earlier, one of the qualities of the Dhamma is to be able to investigate. We do not accept it wholesale, but we think about it, we reason it, see whether it's logical or not. Now, thinking about it is not enough. Okay? We have to practice it. So what we do is we do meditation, Bhavana Maya Panya. Okay? So there's the next level of practice. And through this practice, you develop wisdom, okay, or insight into the Dhamma. There is the realization of the Dhamma. Okay, so the Dhamma has to be practiced at 3 levels: study, practice, and realization. And listening to the Dhamma, there are certain skills that we need to develop in learning the Dhamma. Okay? There are 4 types of people. One is the one who learn with up like an upturned pot. You know, the pot is up, the bottom of the pot face upwards. So when somebody pour a very good liquid, into the pot, it can't go in, okay? Because your pot is upturned. Okay, some people listen to the Dhamma, but their body is not here. They're not present. They're doing something else. So the Dhamma does not go into their mind. Some people, they're like a leaking pot, they can listen to the Dhamma for an hour, okay? And after some time, you find that they forget. Okay? They can't remember what they heard. Okay? So it's like a leaking pot. You pour anything into the pot, it leaks out. Some are like the third type of person is like a pot with poison. Okay, their mind is deluded. They're full of delusion, and you can tell them good things, but they don't listen because they interpret it the way they want it. Of course, the best way is to have a pot that's upright and not leaking. Okay, whatever fluid that you pour inside will stay in the pot. Okay, and it's not poison. Okay. So when you listen to the Dhamma, you receive the Dhamma, and you remember the Dhamma. Okay, remembering the Dhamma is very important. Okay, it helps you to recollect, okay, the goodness that you have. Okay? So listen with your heart, because the Dhamma is in the heart, not anywhere else. Okay? And of course, there are various benefits in listening to the Dhamma. You hear the Dhamma, you hear something that you have not heard before. Okay? When you hear the Dhamma, it also clarifies what you have heard before. Okay? Certain doctrines you have heard many times, but it doesn't matter. You hear it again, your understanding will be better and will be different because you have different experience as you go along. You get rid of your doubts, okay? Because sometimes even after listening, you have questions you want to ask. So the best way to get rid of doubts is to ask questions so that your doubts can be addressed. You straighten your views. Okay, once views are straightened, most of us may have some crooked view. You straighten our view, and your mind becomes serene. Okay, when you listen to the Dhamma talk, usually it's very peaceful and serene because it doesn't take sides. It doesn't blame people. For example, if you go to a political charama, you find that there's a lot of blaming here and there. It agitates people. It causes great emotions in their speech or this. Okay, but when you listen to the Dhamma, your mind becomes peaceful and serene. Okay, so before I end, I just conclude what I have said. Okay, the Dhamma is precious. Okay, and the raft is like a raft that we need to cross the sea of samsara. Okay, it's a path shown by the Buddha. Okay, and the qualities of the Dhamma, okay, are there for us to practice. Okay, it is conducive for our short-term, long-term happiness as well. So after the listening to this Dhamma talk, I hope you will benefit and grow in wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother Baksun. Yeah, I think now we shall open the floor for questions. So if brothers and sisters, if you have any questions in mind, can kindly put into the type into the chat box. Brother Baksun,
Yes.
one question here.
Hmm.
Okay, if our parents practices different religions,
Hmm.
how can we share the Dharma with them without causing friction?
Okay. Okay, if your faith is different, they may not accept certain practices. Okay, for example, like if you bow to the Buddha, they may not follow, certain practices. Okay, but there are certain elements that are common in most religion. Okay, for example, the practice of moral precepts. Moral precepts. Okay, doing good, doing charity. Okay, they are common actually. Practicing of compassion, practicing of loving kindness, they are common practices. So you can introduce good values like goodness, practice of gratitude, all this to them without introducing the the spiritual aspect, religious aspect of the teachings. In fact, Buddhism is not ritualistic. Okay, uh, even if you don't bow to the Buddha, it doesn't matter. Okay, because it's only a physical form. Okay, what is important is you develop your mind in goodness. Okay, uh, to reduce the elements of greed, hatred, and delusion in the mind. Okay. So at least even if you don't reach nibbana, it will take you to a heavenly rebirth. Okay? As a lot of religion, they believe in heavenly rebirth. Yeah. So we can actually share common values and common practices lah in with other religion. Okay.
Thank you very much, Brother Baksun. Any other questions? If you are joining from Facebook or YouTube, you can also participate in this Q&A session. You just type it into your respective chat box and our Zoom administrator will repost them here. Brother Baksun?
Yes.
We have another question. Brother Baksun, which method of meditation is practical?
Which method?
Yeah, which method of meditation is practical?
Actually, I don't didn't get your question method, but Are you referring to any specific method?
Sitting down, close eyes, walking meditation.
Walking, sitting,
Yeah,
sitting down.
I think it's sitting down. I mean, sitting meditation, walking meditation, and open awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or which method is
Yeah. Which method? Yes.
is better?
Practical.
Or practical? I see. I see. Okay. In fact, all are practical. You have to do, in fact, all different types of meditation. The Buddha said you can meditate in any of the four posture, okay? Whether you're sitting down, standing, walking, or lying down. Okay? In fact, there are you train yourself in different aspects. Okay, when you sit down, close your eyes and meditate. Okay, you are actually practicing awareness, of your body and the mind. Right? And this kind of posture will bring you to one-pointedness, okay, because it can lead you to stillness. Okay. Now, when you talk about walking meditation can also lead you to deep concentration if you do it correctly. Yeah. And walking and standing is together because you need to stand when you walk. Okay. And walking does develop stronger concentration and it gives you more energy when you walk. Okay. Because you need more energy for your physical movement. Okay. Now, open awareness is more towards the daily practice, mindfulness in daily life. Okay. So when one practice open awareness, you can see things, you are exposed to more objects. Okay. So open awareness does not lead you to one-pointedness because your object changes. What you see, there are multiple objects that you see, but it helps you to develop mindfulness also because if you're aware of what you see, you understand the nature of what you see. Okay, so you do develop a certain level of mindfulness. Okay? So like in our daily life, we need more open awareness because our ears are open, our eyes are open. We have more objects that the mind can perceive. Okay? So open awareness leads to mindfulness as well. Okay? So all these type of meditation are important to practice.
Okay. Thank you. Next question is from Facebook. Is Dharma only shared with those who are ready? How do we know they are ready or has wisdom to receive it?
Good question. Okay. For the Dhamma to be effective, when you share it, okay, the person must be ready. Okay. If the person is ready, then it's easier for you to transmit the Dhamma to them because they are ready to receive. Okay. Just like you have a bowl that's empty, you pour anything inside, it will fill the bowl. There are other types of people whose bowl is already full. Okay, their mind already have a concept, what Buddhism is, and then when you talk to them about Buddhism, they will tell you, no, it's not like that. This is not what I know, okay, about Buddhism. Okay, so these people are, the mind is up to the brink already. So in studying Buddhism, first you have to empty your mind. Okay? maybe they should not think of their type of perception about Buddhism. Right? So once people have their own perception, then it's difficult to teach them. Right? It's not easy to know whether one is ready to receive, okay? But if you associate with friends or relatives or your siblings, okay, if they're not ready, you can't force them. Just like your own sibling, some of them they're not interested. Even if you ask them to come to the center or listen to YouTube or to listen to any online talk, they're not interested. So they're not ready. But you can slowly through your own, maybe your own behavior, your own practice, try to influence them in a small ways. Okay, for example, when you want to do charity, want to let's say perform dana, you can ask them to share in first. In the dana, would you like to offer something? Or would you like to cook something? I'll bring it to the temple for you. Slowly, so when their heart is softened, they are open to the idea of doing dana, then slowly you bring them to the center, okay, and probably meet the monk, okay, and the person may open his heart, when he sees the monk, because he looks at the monk. Oh, this monk looks very serene, very composed, So that person may be impressed by the sight of the monk, okay, and from there he may take interest in the Dhamma. Okay, so it's the condition actually. If you can create the condition, and if their heart is open at that time, they may be able to receive the Dhamma. Okay.
Okay, next question. Is chanting necessary in the practice of Dhamma?
Chanting.
Yes.
Yes, chanting. What you chant is actually the suttas or the discourse of the Buddha. Okay, it is a Dhamma inside your chanting. So when you chant, you're actually contemplating on the Dhamma, if provided you know what you chant. Okay, so usually you chant in Pali, but in most books we have the English translation. So after you chant, you also need to look at the English translation. But if you chant regularly, then it becomes automatic. For example, panatipata, is abstention from killing. Yeah, so you don't have to refer to the English translation anymore. Okay, so every time you chant, for example, the precepts, it reminds you of your precepts. So every time you do something, you think about the precepts, and you abstain from taking life. You practice more compassion. Okay, so chanting reminds us of the teachings of our practice. So it's important to do chanting to remind ourselves again and again of good things that can arise from our practice. Chanting is also a form of meditation, because if you chant repeatedly, your mind will be calm. Okay, you remember the words. If you don't have to refer, like Itipiso, some people can chant without the books. Okay, so it becomes very automatic. Okay, so you chant Itipiso Bhagawa until the end. Okay, the qualities of the Sangha, and you repeat again and again. Okay, there are people who do it 108 times. Okay, and 108 times will take you about 1 hour 45 minutes. If you want to try, you can. You find that it's like a form of meditation, where your mind becomes focused. Okay.
Okay, next question also related to chanting. It says, we do nightly chanting. How different is this from meditation, and how we can progress from chanting to meditation?
Okay, so as I said just now, chanting is a form of meditation also, because you are trying to compose the mind. Now, in in meditation, actually, you have different stages, okay, mental states. In meditation, also, the first thing you need to do is to steady the mind. Okay, that means you don't allow the mind to move, from objects, from one object to another. Okay? Important thing is to make the mind steady. And even in meditation, we are encouraged to do a short chanting before you start your meditation, so that your mind settles down. So chanting is the first step in settling down the mind. So after you do the chanting, you also need to do some body awareness, okay, to settle the mind, to relax the body. So when your body is settled, okay, then your mind is settled, because the body and mind are interrelated. Okay? If the body is very active, you find that the mind is also very active. The body and mind are related. So after relaxing the body, you bring your attention to your breath. Right? Then that means you kind of focus on a particular object. Okay? And after focusing for some time, you find that your mind become composed. Okay? That means it becomes peaceful. Okay? And joy arises out of the tranquility. Yeah. So these are stages of the mental states when you do meditation. So similarly, when you do chanting, okay, you start off your chanting, okay. Initially, your mind may not synchronize with your chanting, okay. But as you continue to chant, okay, you find that you pay attention to the words, okay. You pay attention to the meaning of what you chant. Your mind becomes steady, okay. And as you chant longer, your mind becomes more focused, okay. And if you continue, okay, some people will use just one mantra, just one word, like arahang, or some like the Mahayanis will use Amitofo, okay, Namo Amitofo. You keep repeating it. You can repeat for hours, okay, and that will make the mind compose, okay, and focus on the words of the chanting. Okay, that itself is a meditation, because it leads the mind to a composed state. Okay, so meditation and chanting, you can do it simultaneously, alternately, or if you want to do meditation and chanting together, also can simultaneously. Okay, so it's a good practice to do chanting as a form of meditation.
Okay, I think next question. Can we chant in English or Chinese?
You can chant in English or Chinese. Okay, like some of the forest tradition chanting, they also have, they even chant both Pali and English together, or only Pali or only English. Okay, so different days they do it differently. Okay, sometimes they do it totally in Pali, sometimes they do it both, sometimes they do it only in English. Okay. So if Chinese also can, you can add in if you know Chinese. Yeah. Can.
Okay, thank you. Next question is on the precepts. Is fishing for food against the first precept?
Fishing for food. Yes, because when you fish, you have to kill the fish. Because when you take the fish out of the water, the fish will die, okay, without water. So whether you fish for food or not, okay, even if you fish as a hobby, not for food, it still cause the death of the fish, and it's actually breaking the precept.
Okay, thank you. Final question for this morning session. Are activities like dancing, singing, and music against the Dhamma. Right action? Is this right action?
Okay, dancing, music, all this, they are not against the Dhamma. Okay, it is natural for our mind, you know, to indulge in certain type of pleasure, because you know, our mind always look for comfort zone. We always look for happiness. Okay, so sometimes music, nice music, will give us some happiness, okay, and joy when you listen. Some people like dancing. Okay, so these are natural. Okay, natural for ways for the mind to behave. Okay, so as long as you don't break the precept, like, you know, you cause harm. Okay, of course, I think you listen to music, you're not causing harm to anybody. Okay, you're not causing harm. When you dance, you don't cause harm to people. Okay, not like, you know, you indulge in like boxing. You know, like you go do boxing, now you hurt the other person physically. Dancing, I don't think you hurt anybody, or even singing. So it's not against the Dhamma. Okay, so you don't cause harm to other people, and to yourself. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Just one more final question. I think it's on chanting. Interesting one.
Yeah.
Is chanting too late at night dangerous, as the chanting will invite unwholesome, unseen beings?
Now, chanting, usually they invite you. You don't invite unwholesome, or what we call beings which are going to harm you. Okay. Normally, chanting will attract devas, devas, because in our chanting we also share merits with the devas. Okay, and the devas also would like to listen to the Dhamma. Okay, just like you know, you come here to listen to the Dhamma. So the devas take delight, you know, because the Buddha already said, you know, that among the gift, which is the best, and among the taste, which is the best, among delight, which is the best. So if the deva delight, you know, in the Dhamma, the deva will come and listen to the Dhamma. So good people will be attracted to the chanting, because the chanting are the suttas, or the teachings of the Buddha. Okay? And the bad beings, or the evil beings, you think they will come to listen to the Dhamma? Right? Just like people who don't appreciate the Dhamma, do you think they will come to listen to the Dhamma? Okay. Now, even if they come to listen to the Dhamma, listen to your chanting, okay, which is the Dhamma, after listening to it, you know, and if they really listen to it, they will understand, you know, if they understand what they listen to, okay, they may even become good, you know, because they listen to the Dhamma. Okay? And if they get the meaning of it, they begin to realize something. Okay? So usually chanting do not attract evil beings. Okay, they in fact they attract good beings, okay, like the devas, because they also like to share the Dhamma and listen to the Dhamma.
Okay, Baksun. I think we are getting good response for the Q&A. Still one more. I think
Okay.
we will take it. Okay.
Okay.
Is smoking prohibited, or breaching any precepts or right livelihood?
Right livelihood.
Yes. Is smoking prohibited, or breaching any precepts or right livelihood?
Okay. In the sutta, in the precept, it talks about intoxicants lah. Okay, so it depends on the smoking. If you smoke usually I'm not a smoker, I don't know. But I believe smokers, they can get addicted to smoking. Because I heard of smokers who, some smokers, they even refuse to go for long flights, because you can't actually smoke on the plane, and you go for long flights, they can't smoke, then they feel very, very uncomfortable. Okay. So it can become an addiction, okay, and intoxicating. Okay. So if you feel that smoking becomes intoxicating, then it's best not to smoke or abstain from smoking. Okay. Basically, because when you smoke, it also have affect your health. Okay. So it can be intoxicating. You become dependent on it, just like alcohol. You can become dependent on it. So it's something that it's not encouraged lah. Okay, not encouraged to do, okay? Because smoking can be intoxicating.
Okay, that's all the questions posted. Okay. Thank you very much, Brother Baksun, for the Dhamma sharing, and also brothers and sisters for all your questions, participations. Okay, before we end our puja and our Sunday puja session, let us do the dedication and sharing of merits. Let me share these slides first. Okay, let us put our hands together and recite together. Idam me nyatinang hotu, sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam no nyatinang hotu, sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam wo nyatinang hotu, sukita hontu nyatayo. Eta wata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabe sata anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya. Let us make our aspiration. Idam me punyang asawa kaya wahang hotu. Idam me punyang nibbanasa pacayo hotu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.